Yo, 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 what's going on out there? What's good? Y'all come on in and have a seat, man. We finna have some fun tonight, man. It's rivalry week, hate week, whatever y'all want to call it.
Ooh.
It's that time of the year, man. And we got two more games for the Saints and Falcons, man. So we had to bring in some special guests, man. Some Saints fans, podcasters. Be a battle of the minds. But before we keep it going, man, we want to welcome Jordan for Artegacy and my boy TJ Jones from the NFC South Round Table and State of the Saints podcast, man. What's up, fellas? Tell us how y'all doing.
Man,
I'm
doing
doing
great,
great.
man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
Appreciate
thanks.
it, man.
No doubt.
That's what
Jordan,
I'm talking about, man.
Jordan,
Like
go
it
ahead.
says, spit. See what you got, Jordan?
No, thanks for having me. This is great. I mean, I haven't been on a stream in a while. I haven't talked. I haven't recorded any videos in a while. It's been a busy month for me, so this is really refreshing to get back in the swing of things.
Uncle Louis
Yes, sir.
Algier, what's good? Our guy, one of our biggest supporters, man. Tell nephew we need that big game this week, man, down in the
Yeah, man.
bayou if you talk to him. But
Man, I'm telling you.
Chris, you know what to do, man. Before we shout out the chat.
Hey, man, exactly like you said, man. Rivalry week, man. Round one. You know what I'm saying? And we're about to get into it, but this matchup doesn't have the hype as like before for me, but at the same time, hey, we're gonna still, you play what the schedule is and you play the players that you gotta play. But I'm
Right.
ready to get into this. Like I said, we're gonna have some fun, man. Two capable, you know what I'm saying? Like, first of all, I mean, Jordan, you already know we got history. And TJ, I mean, of course, I've seen a lot of your stuff as well. So I mean, this is gonna be a lot of fun. Two guys that know their team, so and we're two guys that know ours, so we're going to get into this. It's going to be fun.
Absolute facts. Let's get to the chat right quick, man, before we get to jumping. Silk, what's up, man? Big Veil, that name sound familiar, man. That sound familiar. NFC South Roundtable.
Mm.
Grandizer, what's good, my guy Jamal Haynes, NFC South Roundtable as well. Mr. A221, Jay Gillian, what's up, man? JP, JGP Junior 6497. That's TJ. Yeah, shout out to the Saints, man, Saints fan, man, tuning in. Yeah, I remember him from the round table as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, man,
Garrett,
y'all coming over from the round table, man. Thank y'all for tuning in. Thank
Yes,
y'all.
sir.
Miss Francis, what's good? What's good? So man, we're gonna get this thing rolling, man, with the first question. First question, man. We know about the big news about Michael Penix missing the rest of the year. And it's gonna be big for the Falcons, no lie, no lie. But going forward, this might, change up the Falcons' plan depending on what happens this offseason. And I want to just ask the panel right quick, and then I'll give my thoughts. How does this injury affect the Falcons' future plans going forward? Because you look at the quarterback position, how it's been bad since Matt Ryan left, and now this, it's been what, 4 years since Matt Ryan left. So, woo boy. How does this hurt the Atlanta Falcons going forward? We're gonna start with TJ and then Jordan and Chris, and then I go last.
Well, I think that it is a crushing blow, but I'm not gonna, just go ahead and just bury the guy. I mean, we know that Michael Penix has suffered some severe injuries during his time at Indiana, and then of course, that led him to the University of Washington. But he has always been a resilient guy. And he has this belief in himself, man, that's absolutely polarizing and captivating to all fan bases that ever rooted for this guy. It's unfortunate, but, this isn't like back in the days when Gale Sayers was playing football, when you have ACL injury and you can't bounce back from it. We live in a society now where modern medicine reigns supreme, and we're seeing guys with these lower extremity injuries coming back at a rapid pace. So I expect for him to, be able to make a full recovery. Of course, it's not the season that I'm pretty sure Falcon fans envision. But at the end of the day, I think that they have themselves a solid quarterback. I'm not going to take anything away from Penix. We know the talent level, and I'll let you guys get into it. I'm pretty sure. I mean, Falcon fans already know about the gripes and disgruntlement when it comes to the offensive coordinator. But I mean, this is a guy who completing 60% of his passes, 1,900 yards, 9 touchdowns, 3 picks. So he was trending in the right direction. So I expect for him to make a full recovery and be back on that road and hopefully get the Falcons, into contention where they expect for him to do. So it's just a bump in the road, man.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think it's a bump in the road. This is something Michael Penix has gone through. I think they said 5 of his 8 years of playing college or NFL ball, he's gotten season-ending injuries. So, I mean, this is something you signed up for when you end up drafting him. So, I mean, I don't think this affects the Falcons at all. I think going forward, they're still going to go with him as the guy. The only way this is going to upset a lot of Falcons fans. The only way that for some reason this changes anything is if Kirk Cousins goes out and balls out, which I doubt that happens. It's not going to happen. Kirk Cousins he just doesn't. I don't think he fits the offense very well, but I don't think Penix really does either. So I think I said before the year, I said it to 5-6 Falcons fans in one stream. I said, you guys are not understanding the power of coaching. Bad coaching can really ruin a football team. It did that to the 2023 Eagles. It sort of doing that to the Eagles this year on offense. But I mean, it can really ruin a good team. Even if you got Bijan Robinson, even if you got Drake London, you got Kyle Pitts, you have a solid offensive line. Like if whether it's Kirk or Michael Penix at quarterback, you really it can really bring you down. So, I mean, I don't think this injury affects any future plans. What they really should be looking into is, can this offense get anything going, even with Kirk Cousins? And if so, then moving forward, is this going to be your offensive coordinator? Are these play callers on offense, these coaches on offense, going to be your coaches on offense moving forward or not? I think that's what you see for the rest of the season.
Well, right. I want to say this though. I mean, I wouldn't have, if I'm a Falcon fan, I wouldn't have an issue if Kirk Cousins plays well. I mean, because right now, you got to look at it from a trade perspective. I mean, if he goes out there and he performs well, you got 7 games here, that a team that's probably looking for a bridge quarterback. I mean, of course, they're not going to be, labeling him a franchise guy. He's 37. But if he goes out there and he plays well, then, I mean, this sets the Falcons up to negotiate something via trade and, maybe get some compensation for this. I mean, this is a team that invested in the young studs and Jalen Walker and James Pierce Jr. So, no first round pick. But if you go out and, trade Kirk Cousins or something like that, you can probably, get something back for him. So I think that, it's imperative that he plays well, well enough to get some type of compensation for that.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. What were you saying that? Also, but you think about this too, depending on how long this injury is going to keep Michael Penix out, you may have to go ahead and ride with him as your week 1 starter. That's also another option that could be down there. Now, of course, off season has to go about, and we still have to see what's going to happen with the new league year. But still, that's also an option. That's something you have to think about in the immediate future. But long term, I still think it's going to be Michael Penix. I mean, he's on a rookie contract. Why would you go away from that when you still see that the talent is there? If anything, it's more so about investing in the team around him, especially like that offensive line that was banged up from the start coming into the season, already dropping Caleb McGarry, having a guy like Ryan Nuzil coming in, who is still a first-time starter. And, you had other things going on with the offensive line, just, guys coming off their rookie year, etc. So at the end of the day, again, I still think Michael Penix is the guy. I don't think they're going to go away from him. This is an investment that you really got to hunker down on and really just stick it out and see what's the best scenario for you. Because right now, with the draft capital and everything too, I think you're going to have to ride this out. But it's not like this is a Marcus Mariota or a Desmond Ridder situation. We actually do have a talented quarterback. We just have to protect him with more things than not, because free runners coming after your quarterback, that's going to hurt anybody. So I think it's about investing in the team around him, especially, like I said, the offensive line.
Yeah, I agree, man. It's not going to really affect his future plans. I agree, but the reason why I asked the question is because certain fans are looking at it, as this is it for him. But you got to remember, Frank Gore played 17 years with two torn ACLs in college. You look at Adrian Peterson in 2012, had an ACL injury, ends up coming back 8-9 months later, wins MVP, runs for 2,000 yards. So it just all in how your body recuperates and recovers and all that good stuff. But the only way it would ruin future plans, or the only way he would not be in future plans, should I say, is they move on from Raheem Morris and his coaching staff and GM. And I highly doubt that they do that because I think they have a good plan in place. They just need to replace some of the guys on the coaching staff. It's just that simple. Because you have a quarterback coach who's also the wide receiver coach, not really teaching Michael Penix anything. You have Zach Robinson, who's lost in space. Who else? And you got to look at also what Raheem Morris has been doing, just not, just doing his job as a head coach. But again, they brought in Jeff Ulbrich this offseason. It changed the tone of the defense with Nate Olley. They got, nice energy, got nice players. And let's not act like Divine Diablo's loss has been huge. So injuries has affected this team on both sides of the football. But like I said, man, the only way that Penix isn't in the plans of the future is if he doesn't recover in time or if it's a coaching staff change. But other than that, he should, come back strong. He's still only 25 years old, so he should recover fine. So, other than that, he should be fine. But like Chris said, you got to get that offensive line straight. Jake Matthews is long in the tooth. You got to get a competent right tackle, which is his blind side. So yeah, just build around the coaching staff, offensive line, and I think this team takes another step. And again, like y'all said, what they're trying to run may not fit Michael Penix. So this is why an offensive coordinator that knows how to use his skill set probably is going to be what's best for him. And one name that I've been looking at is Matt LaFleur, and we'll get on that another day. But you just got to bring an offensive mind in here to help that kid. And if you do that, that might change for the best. And who knows? He might have an all-pro career, but it's only if you make the right changes. But hey, that's neither here nor there. But that's our take on it. And let's flip it on to the other side. So what we're gonna do with this is Falcon offense against the Saints defense. We're gonna talk offense. Jordan and TJ gonna talk defense, and how to counter. So offensive wise, Chris, what do you think we have to do?
Oh, well, of course, commit to the run. We're going to have to make sure that we're hitting those gaps, man. Using Bijan Robinson, you think about it, Michael Penix, he's out. Kirk Cousins, we have to kind of get him going because he has been like without live action. So we're going to have to start trying to see if you can get him into a flow. One thing that can help that is, of course, the run game. If Atlanta can run the ball well early, then it can keep New Orleans honest. Then you possibly can go into some play action because, yes, we did see Kirk Cousins under center when he came in. So that is definitely a possibility with the play action, using motion, using bunches. Darnell Mooney is the number one wide receiver. So Kirk Cousins and Darnell Mooney are going to have to be on the same page. Even though I'm nervous about the connection between the two, we have got to figure out a way to get Kyle Pitts moving across the middle and also just keeping him involved, engaged. He has to get back into the beginning of the season, kind of like the first 4 or 5 games, it's in Kyle Pitts, because lately he's gone back to the Kyle Pitts that we don't like in Atlanta. Correct. So that's going to be one thing that's key, man. But it's all going to come down to the coaching. What is Zach Robinson going to do? It's winning the game within the game for me on the offense, man. And a lot of times we don't. So that's the main thing. Can we win the game within the game? Can we also, stay on the field on third down? Again, being in third and manageables. And in red zone, we have been a little bit better, but got to be consistent. So get down in there and putting up 6 instead of 3. That's the most important thing for me. What you got, Smitty?
Yeah, I agree 100%. That offensive line, they got to find a way, to be consistent this game with run blocking. And the Falcons got to lean on the run. I've been saying that all year. stick with your bread and butter, especially to keep pressure off of the quarterbacks. And Kyle Pitts, like you said, he's gotten back to the old Kyle Pitts of the last 3 years, but at the same time, he's got to be the number one target for whoever the quarterback because he's the biggest mismatch on the field. And you have to take advantage of that against the Saints secondary that really isn't very strong, but we know that they're going to come out fighting, mainly because there's a rivalry game. And look at what they did to Carolina just last week. So when you look at what they did to Carolina, the week before, what they did to Carolina, they showed that they're going to come out and play no matter what their record is. So with Kyle Pitts, you saying Darnell Mooney, number one receiver, I don't even know if he's the number 3 receiver at this point. I trust David Seals more than I trust that guy, man. Because one thing, the frustration is really kicked in, man, on this offense. And that's what they're suffering from, frustration, bad quarterback play, bad play calling. And, it's just carried. So they've got to snap out of it. And to do that, I think they got to, use Bijan and Tyler, because he only had 3 carries last week. It was utterly ridiculous. You've got to wear down the defense, man. A team that, has, just like the Falcons, has been on the defense, has been on the field a lot all season, but just wear them down with the run game. If you can do that, hey, I think you'll be fine. But that's my take on the offense. Before we get to y'all on the defense, quick super chat. Shout out to Craig, man. Thanks for the early Christmas gift, man. Truly appreciate it. He said, I heard rumor that there was talks about Terry, about making coaching changes. What do you guys think? I believe it when I see it, man. To be honest, but honestly, I think Zach already had his future set up at Oklahoma State, so I know there would definitely be a change of offensive coordinator. I think Dwayne Lett for the offensive line coach. I think he is safe, and I honestly think anybody outside of Zach Robinson is safe because I think he's the weakest link. Like I said, you probably got to go and find a wide receiver coach. I forgot about that. And you got to find a quarterback coach, which is probably going to be DJ Williams moving forward because I don't see TJ Yates coming back either. So yeah, that's my thoughts on that. But I believe when I see it.
I mean, yeah, I agree with you, but I'm not gonna lie to you. Special teams coach has got to go.
Oh, Marquise Williams, absolutely. And the crazy thing about it, they fired him already. So why you bring him back?
But Smitty, you really want to ask that question when I head coach it? Now, all right, guys.
Okay. What do y'all think Saints defense gonna do against the Falcons offense?
You want to start with me or Jordan?
Oh, it don't matter. Either or.
Okay, I mean, I just think that, you have to be able to stop the run. You got to be able to neutralize Bijan Robinson and Tyler Algier, but the New Orleans Saints defensively, when it comes to the run, I mean, they're allowing teams 123 yards per game, and that's just not a good thing. The Saints transition from a 4-3 to a 3-4 defense. I mean, they're led mostly by nose tackle Devon Godshaw, but I just think they need a little bit more athleticism in the middle. And that's something that I feel like the Falcons can take advantage of. We talk about, Kirk Cousins, and I know that he's not the Kirk Cousins of old, but Kirk Cousins, I mean, throughout history has created fits for the New Orleans Saints. And I'm very concerned at this new defense of the Saints when it comes to the zone defense. They rarely ever play man. And, even if you're limited at wide receiver, I mean, all you're asking these wide receivers to do is find soft spots, in the defense, which, can possibly happen. Also, with Kyle Pitts, I heard you guys mention that. I mean, he just has to catch the ball. He has to be a reliable guy at this point. You are the guy when it comes to the pass catching, that Drake London is not going to be there. So the New Orleans Saints are going to have to try to get pressure on Kirk Cousins. He's not going to try to move outside of the pocket. He's going to try to stay there and make plays from the pocket. So they got to be able to get pressure. And they're also going to have to tackle well. I think that's something that helped them in the game versus Carolina. Rico Dowdle wasn't able to get started because the Saints were, tackling really well. And also they were really good in coverage. So the New Orleans Saints are they just have to do things well, right? I mean, you can't afford to miss tackles. You can't afford to have blown assignments. They're just not they're not wired that way right now. You can't afford it. So they basically got to play pretty sound defense and play disciplined defense in order for them to be able to neutralize the offense, especially in the running game.
Yeah, you said it right there with discipline. That's one thing I've seen a lack of this entire season from the defense is discipline and just holding on to your tackles. And I mean, the X factors on defense are our linebackers between DeMario and Pete Warner. And I mean, if they get going, the defense can play better than it looks on paper. And if they can't get going, if they can't help us, then I don't know I don't know who's going to help us. But yeah, Devon Godshaw, I mean, you got to be able to stop the run, and he's got to be the run stopper. I wish Brian Bresee had a better. I was hoping for a breakout year from him, like a Pro Bowl, All Pro level season from him. I see flashes every now and then, but he just doesn't have that consistency. You got to be able to stop the run. I mean, you got Bijan Robinson and Tyler Algier on the other side. How are you going to stop that? I guess you got to play more of Cameron Jordan. I mean, Cameron Jordan's getting up there in age, man. I feel so bad for some of these veterans that have been on this team for so long. Guys like Cameron Jordan, even on the offensive side with Kamara, Taysom Hill. I feel bad because they're part of this team, and I just want them to be so successful. But you got to play a lot of Cameron Jordan because, I mean, he's going to be better at stopping the run than Chase Young. I don't even want to get started with Chase Young. I have an issue with him. Yeah, I mean, you got to stop the run. You got to send Demario Davis. You got to send Pete Warner, maybe pop Pete Warner back in the coverage. I don't know how you game plan. I'm trying to figure out who I would like to cover Kyle Pitts in this game. I just don't really know who.
Yeah, I don't have nobody that cover Kyle Pitts.
He's such a mismatch. The issue is Kyle Pitts himself just isn't very consistent of a player. So it's like, I guess we can put anyone. I mean, I guess we could maybe bring down Justin Reed and play Justin Reed on him. We could maybe slide in DeMario and do a little bit of like Alante Taylor and Demario Davis zone coverage on him. That's really all I can think of against him. I mean, if Drake London was playing in this game, I'd be like, all right, we're kind of screwed. But Drake London not playing in this game is a huge deal. Not even Michael Penix not playing, because I think Kirk Cousins playing in this game versus Michael Penix, I don't think that matters. It's the fact that Drake London's not playing, because if Kool-Aid's playing against Drake London, oh, this is gonna be a rough game. It's gonna be a rough game defensively. But the one thing I can hold myself on is the Falcons, no offense, incompetence from the offensive coordinator. Because he's unable to have consistent because he's not able to have consistent play calling and consistent just drives, it will lead to this zone defense that the Saints have. I mean, all it takes is a turnover. All it takes is one turnover. You get Alante Taylor on a blitz, it's on Kirk Cousins on his blind side, and you get a strip sack and a fumble recovery. That's a turning point in the game. You got to capitalize on turnovers. That's going to be the heart and soul of the Falcons offense versus the Saints defense. Is, can the Saints defense force the key turnovers when it matters most?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And add on to what y'all saying about Kyle Pitts, it's just time. If he doesn't show up these last 7 games, I mean, it's just a busted draft pick. Let's just keep it real. I mean, he's 6'6", 250, runs a 4.4, 4.45 somewhere in there, and he's just not that. He just doesn't have that drive that he needs. And when you look at the Saints, and like TJ said, they play a lot of zone. You find holes in the zone, Kyle Pitts should eat in the middle of the field. And unlike Michael Penix, who struggles in the middle of the field, that's where Kirk Cousins thrives. So Yeah, you just got to take advantage of it, man. Even
Yeah,
though we may be down, receivers, you still got to take
mhm.
advantage, man. Still got to take
That's
advantage.
but another way to do that, we got to use, like I said, use that run game. Not just Bijan, but we got to get Tyler Algier involved always. I don't know how we can't just mix in between the two, because running Tyler will help preserve Bijan, and you won't be running him into the ground.
Right.
Essentially, man, I'm telling you, like in our 3 wins, when those two guys get at least anywhere between 12 to 16 carries, the Falcons are victory formation 3 times. And it's just like, I'm telling you, man, that run game is essential, and it may be essential even more going forward again with the quarterback situation. You may have to lean on it even more.
Facts. Facts. But let's switch it to the other side of the ball, man.
Yeah, do it.
We talked about the Saints defense. Now let's talk about the Falcons defense, who entered this week third in the NFL in sacks with
Yeah.
34, I think it is.
I think
Um,
we're second, Smitty. I thought.
oh,
Oh, it was second.
it's second or third. I know it's top three.
Mhm.
But when you look at this week's matchup against the Saints offense, who also have offensive line problems, I think the Falcons front seven is going to eat this week. The last 3 weeks, I think they averaged 5 sacks a game. If I'm no 6 sacks a game the last 3 weeks.
Yeah,
So
we only had
when you look,
18
yeah,
sacks in the last
yeah,
3 games. Yeah.
so
Mhm.
6 sacks the last 3 games for the defense. I think the front seven is going to be the key to this game.
Right.
And look, I can't never pronounce his name. Is Shook or something like that. The quarterback.
Oh,
Uh,
Yep.
yeah. So when you look at a rookie quarterback, we play very well against rookie quarterbacks, and even though this is, like I said, this is a rival game, he's not scared to take shots down the field. We saw that in the Carolina game as well. And with the Falcons having problems, I think Mike Hughes comes back this week. The way Natron Brooks got beat like a slave last week,
man.
that can't happen again.
Yeah.
So I think the front seven is going to have to be key. I think they're going to have to get pressure on him to take pressure off the middle of the defense. Xavier Watts, he hadn't looked the same since the losing streak. Jesse Bates hadn't looked the same all season. I think he gets traded this off season. So when you look at the overall stature of the defense, it doesn't go without the front seven. Leonard Floyd out with a hamstring injury. So, man, look, front seven, they got to do their job. Take advantage of a weak offensive line. Alvin Kamara, he's losing the step. Let's keep it real. So you keep them one-dimensional passing the football, and if you do that, I think that's where the pass rush takes over. So with the Falcon defense, I just think the pass rush has to come through. What do you think, Chris?
Yeah, I'm with you on that front seven. I mean, yeah, Alvin Kamara has definitely lost a step or two, but it's still Alvin Kamara, and it's still rivalry week, Falcons versus Saints. So at the end of the day, I still want to stop him, because one of the things is our Achilles heel is still the run game. And I know Kellen Moore, he has definitely emphasized that, and he wants to come out and establish the run. And who better than against your division rival? We have to make sure that we don't allow that to happen, because if they're able to mix in some run and some pass, that could spell a recipe for disaster for the Falcons. So yeah, the front seven is on those guys to set the tone, get after and rattle the cage of this young guy. You know what I'm saying? They got to get in there and they got to pray for him. They got to lay hands on him. It's not just about just generating the pressure. We got to lay hands on them, get them on the ground, get that jersey dirty a little bit. And I feel like that'll be a recipe for success. Again, first of all, the Falcons are nearly first of all, they're on the third downs. They get off the field on third down most times, nearly 40%. And for the Falcons, as far as like drop back rates, they're 37.9% pressure on drop back. So, and the Saints offense, you know what I'm saying, they allow a lot of people to get up through there, man. So I'm expecting this front seven to really get after it. This could be another game to where maybe James Pierce Jr. maybe can get after that quarterback. Jalen Walker, Brandon Dorless. The names just go on and on for our youth movement that has been, really a surprise. It's a pleasant surprise, because whenever the Falcons had a defense, it's just everything just going wrong on the offensive end. But this defense I believe in, and this rivalry, I think they're going to – this is an opportunity to see and evaluate how guys are going to respond. You know what I'm saying? Can they get up for a rivalry game? And if they can, I think it's going to spell a recipe for success for the Falcons.
I think you're on mute, Smitty.
I can't forget about you know who, man, and Mr. Taysom Hill, the Falcon killer. You just got to remember he's still on the team. He lines up anywhere on the field, and trust me, he's going to be a big part of the game plan this week. And even if Kellen Moore is a rookie coach here, he know that, I'm sure. And look, I'm telling y'all, Taysom Hill, you just got to watch out for it. And we're bottom 5 against the run now, so that's going to be a big part of the Saints game plan. But TJ, go ahead. What do the Saints offense have to do against this Falcons defense?
Well, I mean, y'all alluded to it. I mean, the Falcons are averaging about 3.5 sacks per game. I mean, it's going to happen. Like I already have come to grips with that. You know, I think that this is a litmus test for Tyler Shuck. You know, I think that, you know, a couple weeks ago against Carolina, you know, he answered some questions. But when you go back to his draft scouting report, the biggest issue was him getting a little bit of happy feet and, you know, making erratic decisions once he senses pressure. Now, a couple weeks ago when he did sense pressure, I've noticed improvement in the footwork. He stepped up in the pocket. He always looked downfield and a lot of unscripted throws, you know, break like wide receivers and tight ends breaking off their routes. So, I mean, he's going to have to be a little bit creative, and he's also going to have to stand strong in the pocket. He'd also have to understand that he's going to have to take one on the chops from time to time in order for him to deliver the ball down the field and make a play. I like the way that he is aggressively pushing the ball down the field. You're actually trusting your wide receivers versus what I feel like what Spencer Rattler was doing at the time. I think Spencer Rattler was kind of playing the quarterback role as a guy that was doing it for week to week. You know, he had to make the right decisions versus Tyler Shuck is just out there like, look, I'm going to just go out there and just put it all on the line. And that's how you got to play. And guys start to like rise to the occasion when they feel like you have this belief in them to be able to make plays. So number one, he's going to have to stand strong in the pocket and understand that he's going to have to take it, you know, in the chops from time to time. But it's all about trying to make plays to win the game. Number two, the New Orleans Saints are going to have to start converting on third down. This has been an Achilles heel of the New Orleans Saints over the last, you know, this entire season, not being able to sustain drives. Rather it's drop passes, rather it's bad execution, rather it's false start penalties. There's a joke going on around Saints Nation that the Saints just need to start every drive 1st and 20 because it's inevitable that they're going to have a false start or a holding penalty from the offensive line, which, you know, over the last couple of weeks, I have seen some improvement. But, you know, the offensive line has had the struggles. No Eric McCoy. Tallahassee Fuaga is dealing with an ankle injury. You have a stud in Calvin Banks who is playing really well. I'm not concerned about Trevor Penning. I feel like that was an upgrade now that they have Dylan Radin to replace him. But, you know, they're going to have to, you know, be up to the challenge. And also they're going to have to get the ball out of Tyler Shuck's hand pretty quick when they throw the football. I mean, we're talking about 3-step drops. Guys got to be able to, you know, get out of the breaks really quickly in order for them to catch the ball. As far as the running game, you know, I think that the New Orleans Saints' biggest issue when it comes to Alvin Kamara, is he the Alvin Kamara of old? He is not. But there's a lot of things that Kellen Moore's offense does not present when it comes to Alvin Kamara that has made him successful throughout the years. I mean, a couple weeks ago, that was the first time I seen a screen pass all season. The one that
getting him the ball
was
in
like
space.
a 29-yard game.
Yeah,
it's like they completely eliminated that. Like Alvin Kamara is not a run in between a tackles type running back. I mean, he's capable of doing that, but what made Alvin so successful and such a threat was his ability to be able to catch the ball out of the backfield with the angle route, with the wheel routes, being able to set up the screen because he can make really good decisions setting up his blocks. So they got to find a way to get him involved. And also young Devin Neal seemed like, you know, he had a pretty solid game. They're going to have to, you know, rely on each other. And as far as the wide receiver group, young, inexperienced guys led by Chris Olave, who had a really good game last time. But you have Devon Vele, a guy they barely even used. The Saints traded a 4th and a 7th-round pick for him, but he's going to be used quite often now that Rashid Shaheed has been traded, and now most recently Brandon Cooks is no longer with the team. So he's going to have to step up. And then you also have Mason Tipton, an undrafted guy at Yale. He's going to be stepping up. And I'm interested to see if the Saints are going to activate Trey Palmer down the stretch. Well, if he's going to be involved in the game. I mean, he's been on IR, but he can be activated from IR at any time. So it's going to have to take a collective effort in order for them to be able to win this football game. That's the reason why I feel like this is not going to be a high-scoring game at all. But they're going to have to convert and be able to move the chains and also take advantage of opportunities, rather it's field goals, rather it's converting in the red zone. But if they don't, then I think that the Atlanta Falcons have a really good chance. But they're going to have to play some smart football offensively.
Yeah, and you gotta you made a great point about Alvin Kamara getting the ball in space. If they do that, I feel like that's an advantage because even though Divine Diablo comes back, he's gonna be a little rusty. And outside of him, who do they really have in that linebacker room that can, cover Kamara? They may have to bring Watts up in the box or add a third safety and use 3 safety for most of the game. So that's gonna be something to watch out and look out for. But Jordan, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, when Kellen Moore got hired, I thought, wow, Kamara is going to be utilized as an all-purpose back. Like we're going to see him. I thought we were going to see the best version of Alvin Kamara. I honestly thought we were. With Kellen Moore, I mean, even before Saquon, what he did with Austin Eckler, what he did with Tony Pollard, like utilizing them in all aspects of their game. And Kamara, I mean, his entire career he's been like that. So I thought there was a big chance that Alvin Kamara ran for 1,000 yards and caught for 1,000 yards because our receiving core is not necessarily the best receiving core. We have 2 young quarterbacks. I figured we'd be checking down a lot more. And we're just not seeing anything of Kellen Moore's offense that I expected to see. I mean, I got to watch every single Eagles game last year. I got to watch Kellen Moore's entire time with Dallas. So I've seen Kellen Moore's offense. What I'm seeing this year is nothing I've ever seen out of Kellen Moore's offense. It's like he just started over fresh and said, forget everything that I've done before. And I wanted to see these screen passes because Kamara is great at screen passes. He's always been like that. He's always been great at the backfield. I mean, Kamara as a receiver has always been operating as the wide receiver 2 on the Saints. He's just been that good of a receiver on top of the fact that he's such a great runner. And we're just not seeing that. On top of that, the offensive line. And TJ, like you said, the offensive line it's banged up. You got injuries. Even the young, talented guys like Fuaga, he's got the ankle injury. I'm worried going into this game because of the pressure that Atlanta just puts on all offensive lines. Never mind our banged up offensive line. So my thought process from a coaching perspective is, okay, Atlanta's going to be sending a lot of pressure. I need to, like you said, do quick passes. So who am I hitting? I need to figure out a way to get Alvin Kamara the ball. I need to figure out a way to get Taysom Hill and Juwan Johnson involved in the short game. And then getting Chris Olave in on these slants and short intermediate routes. So, I mean, even end arounds, getting end arounds involved in this. If that's the best way I can look at in terms of a coaching perspective. But yeah, I mean, you got to kind of get Juwan Johnson involved. If he can hold on to the ball, that's the key. Can he hold on to the ball? And all right, everything I said gets canceled out with something, Smitty, you said, Taysom Hill. Anything I've said is probably wrong if Taysom Hill has a big game. He always has that one game every single season where he decides to have the most historic stat line ever. I'm just waiting for that game to happen. I hope it's this Sunday because that would be awesome. He might run for 150 yards and catch for 150 yards. He'll do stuff I've never seen in a stat line. Look, I know a lot of history, and I have to go back to like Charlie Trippy in order to Hall of Famer Charlie Trippy, who played quarterback, running back, end, cornerback. I have to go back to him in order to find anyone who's done anything similar to Taysom Hill.
I
So, yeah.
can go a little bit more recent than that. I could say Jim Jensen for the Dolphins back in the day.
Yes.
He had that same kind of effect. Go ahead.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, yeah, if Taysom Hill wants to go nuts, I guess. I noticed there was a lot more usage of Taysom Hill just in at quarterback, not just running in the Carolina game. And I guess what Kellen Moore is thinking is like, we're not really getting any sort of run game going with whether that's with Kamara, whether that's with Neal, with any of our running backs, and utilizing Taysom Hill. Taysom Hill is this combination of speed and strength that not many athletes in the NFL have at wide receiver, running back, quarterback in that general area. And you look, Taysom Hill does not have the strongest arm in the world, but he has a competent arm if you're going to do trick plays. So, I mean, you could throw in a couple here and there. I think that gimmick's sort of gone. I think teams are prepared for him to randomly throw the ball now. But otherwise, I mean, he could still hurdle. He's still got the speed. He's still got the strength. He could, at any game, he could just go off. I'm just waiting for it to happen. It's going to be some random Sunday at 1:00. Yeah, the most important aspect of this game is getting Kamara involved in the receiving game and the screens, the little underneath routes. That's all you have to do, because against Atlanta's defense, with all the pressure, you're going to see a lot of pressure. And I haven't even touched on Shuck yet, but just any young quarterback, whether that was Rattler or Shuck out there, just hit the guy who's been one of the best players to ever wear that uniform and let him do his work. Let him do his job. He could very well go for over 100 yards on Sunday receiving and then rushing for like 12. I feel like that's how Kamara's stat line is just in this offense. I don't think it's his fault. I think Kamara is definitely, like TJ, like you said, he's not the player he was, but it's the player that Kellen Moore is like forcing him to be. And I think if he were to leave and go to another team with a great offensive line, that
he should have left and went to Kansas City, to be honest. He didn't want to go. But he should have wanted to trade. I hate to say it, but I get it, because that's home for him. So I get it.
I'm glad you do, because I don't. I mean, I'm very critical. I'm very critical of Alvin Kamara in that regard. Look, I question guys who are at certain stages of their career. They got talent, they got ability to be able to bring it to a team that can be a contender, and they rather just wallow in mediocrity. I'm just being honest with you, man. Like, I like Alvin. I think that he is definitely one of the greatest New Orleans Saints players of all time. But, man, you have an opportunity to go somewhere and cement your legacy. And, it's kind of like that same situation that happened in Carolina with Christian McCaffrey. Like, everybody thought he was washed. Then all of a sudden he gets traded to the 49ers. Kyle Shanahan knows how to use him, and he's the offensive player of the year. So I honestly, I think that Alvin Kamara is selling himself short in this New Orleans Saints offense as they try to figure it out. But to me, man, look, I'm trying to win. Like, I mean, football is a business at the end of the day. Nobody is going to sit up here and be mad at Alvin Kamara looking at the New Orleans Saints, the state that they're in, and be like, man, Alvin left us and deserted us. Like people would understand that you want to bring something to the table, and legacy is on the line. So I'm very critical of Alvin when it comes to that. But I mean, I appreciate him wanting to stick it out, but in a way, I didn't understand it. I don't.
And like you mentioned, like with Christian McCaffrey, I mean, like, he could go to a team like the Chiefs and just revitalize his whole career.
Yep.
and take his game to another level that he may not necessarily have ever seen. I mean, he's never even ran. I thought this was going to be the year he was going to run for 1,000 yards. Now, I've never cared that he's ran for 1,000 yards. It's more of like a personal thing. Like I'm hoping that I just want him to do it just for his sake. I just want to get him 1,000 yards rushing. But he's always never been that type of player because he's so good at receiving. He balances them both out in terms of running and receiving that he doesn't necessarily need to touch the ball 300 times and go for 1,500 yards to be one of the best running backs in football. But you go to a top team like the Chiefs, and you could see a different version.
I throw another team out there that I just knew he was going to go to Denver because they really don't have a solidified running back in Denver. He goes out there, you see what just happened to J.K. Dobbins. If he's out there at the trade deadline, that becomes his spot. And he's working with a guy he's familiar, a guy that Drew Brees like, and Bo Nix. So I think he should have thought about leaving, man, because I just don't get why he stayed, man. I just don't.
Me neither.
Hey, man, it's probably to the fact that he just has so many connections and roots, so many things he's built in the city of New Orleans, with the city of New Orleans, comfortable. And sometimes, some people don't like change. And also some people, when you go to a new team, sometimes, the certain treatments are different. You got to learn a new team, new way of how they're doing things. And some people just don't want to figure that out and find that out.
Yeah, I mean, he just wired differently, Chris. I mean, that's just the way he is. Like, I mean, he doesn't really focus on football outside of playing it. Like I always say, like Alvin Kamara is like the quintessential. Like football is what I do. That's not who I am. Like once I take off these shoulder pads and the helmet, I'm at home.
I'm somebody else. Yeah.
My daughter. Like, I mean, that's cool and all, but I don't know, man. I'm a competitor. I've been this way my entire life. I don't like to lose. It's not like, and if I'm giving my all, I want people around me to be giving their all as well. And if I feel like I'm not getting that in the space that I'm in, then I'm gonna try to find it elsewhere. And I don't feel like that's like you abandoning a team or abandoning like your situation. I just think that it comes a time, like we all know this, like when we talk football, we talk about guys like Dan Marino, right? Great, one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. But what's the one knock on? He never won a Super Bowl, right?
He never.
But is it his fault? Like, I mean, countless 5,000-yard seasons, they never put a defense around him, right? And then towards the twilight of his career, when they actually brought in guys like Zach Thomas and had like a serviceable defense, he was like on his way out, right?
Yeah.
I mean, so we know that legacy is extremely important. And also when they having these meetings, fellas, about the Hall of Fame and and they start bringing your name up, and the one knock on you is, oh, you didn't win a Super Bowl, or like you missed a playoff.
You're right. Sometimes it do be their fault. Yeah,
I mean, doing the same thing, right? I mean, legacy is important, and sometimes submitting your legacy is even more important. I mean, another person, like look at Russell Wilson right now. Like Russell Wilson, if he didn't go to Denver, if he didn't go to New York, then we probably be talking about this man being a Hall of Fame. But look at the last couple of years of his career. So that stuff matters, man. Submitting your legacy is extremely important, man. And I don't want Alvin, I don't know, man. I just think there's a lot more meat on the bone, and he's kind of like costing himself an opportunity at immortality by being loyal to a team that, as of right now, just going through a rebuild, and it's probably going to be this way for a minute.
Yeah, how many years he got left on that deal he just signed? 2 or 3?
I think I like two more years on the deal.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, that's and by that time he's gonna be over with.
It's
gonna be over with. But quick super chat, man. The True 706, one of my longest followers, man. Appreciate you, my guy. Thank you for the $20 early Christmas gift. Truly appreciate it. He said, man, number 2 in sacks, and we thought that. Well, hell is back a lot of times in the past. Zach Roberts make Mike Malarkey look like Kyle Shanahan. Get that bomb. get that bomb out of Flower Branch. Matter of fact, ship that to Alaska.
Oh, wow.
You're right, man. You're right. Right.
I got,
I mean,
I got
it's
a
sad,
question.
man.
I got a
Go ahead.
question
You got it.
for you two,
You,
man.
you
All right,
got it.
so I
Go ahead.
know like Raheem Morris is under a lot of scrutiny when it
Mm.
comes to like his coaching style. But do you think the fact that you all had issues last year with Jimmy Lake and he cut ties with him quickly and found Jeff Albrecht, and now you look at the defense, right? So that's showing improvement, right? Being able to recognize your mistakes and correcting them. Do you think by him doing that, it afforded him extra time with upper management that he has the capability to be able to correct, like I guess like things that went awry, right? I mean, like I said, you got a
Yeah.
really good defense now because of Albrecht. Like, do you think
Yeah,
that
that's an
management
excellent
is
point.
looking at that like, oh, he can do the same thing with the offense?
That's an
Yeah,
excellent point.
we have.
We actually
Yeah.
been talking about that, man. But the way I see it, and I said that may be his saving grace. He goes out and get an offensive guy. And, you know, the guy I talked about, and I talked about in the video last week, Matt LaFleur. You go out and get a guy like that who we know could probably develop Michael Penix or whoever they bring in. They can he can, you know, just fit right in, plug in his offense. He's good to go. And when you look at that too, you look at, you know, a coach in waiting. We know they like to stay in-house. And if Raheem doesn't work out next year, you got your coach in waiting, because I know you're not going to go out and go, you know, just try something new, because that's just not what the Falcons do. They like to hire guys that they're familiar with, because look at what they passed over in the last hiring search. Mike Vrabel, Bill Belichick, Mike McDonald, Jim Harbaugh. So they like to be familiar. They picked over all those guys just to bring back Raheem Morris, which didn't make sense and will never make sense. But at the same time, it's who they're familiar with. So in that aspect, Matt LaFleur makes a whole lot of sense. Why? He was a quarterback, passing game coordinator and an offensive coordinator in Atlanta, and they know him very well. So he could be a coach in waiting as well. So it just makes too much sense.
Yeah, I mean, because I'm gonna say this. I just feel like, okay, man, it's like you sitting in a boardroom and you're on a break of being fired, and it's like, okay, give me a reason why we should keep you. I mean, I feel like the hiring of Jeff Albrecht will give him an extra year. You know, now I will say this, man. I feel like it's just an uphill battle when it comes to Raheem Morris. I don't think that the Falcons, this is in my opinion, will never live up to their full potential as long as he's a head coach. It's just something about him I feel like that just holds this team back. He gives me, and people think I'll just be saying this as a joke, but I'm serious. He gives me Dennis Allen type vibes, man. Like,
yeah, agreed.
Like,
when
I look at him, I just see Dennis Allen.
We had them discussions on the NFC roundtable for a whole season. That's ridiculous. But it's good you bring up that point by being his saving grace. And I agree with that. That could happen. But think about this. The players that are here now, what if they don't buy into what he's selling and they, you know, don't play this good down the stretch? And the ownership be like, I mean, he could probably come in and change it, but are the players really going to have the energy to play for him after this season? And you got to think about that. And if they don't, some of the key players going to say, hey, man, I want to trade. I got to get out of here. You know, I just can't, I can't rock with this no more. But go ahead,
Chris. That's what I've been talking about anyway. I mean, just going back, just trying to go back so I can answer the question. For me, it's always been the wrong decision bringing in two inexperienced guys from the beginning. Yeah, you brought in Jimmy Lake, but I've talked about it. Smitty, I've told Smitty, just about anybody, that the talking point for Raheem Morris can be like, yes, look at what happened with the defense. I corrected the wrong with the defense. Jeff Ulbrich, somebody experienced coming in here, changing this defense all around, making it number 2 in sacks, making it top 10-ish, top 15, defense in different categories. But I can do the same thing with the offensive mind. Like you were saying, if Matt LaFleur was to be fired, that would be somebody you probably have to call up. Same thing with if Mike McDaniel gets fired down there in Miami. So, you would have that familiarity. So, and that it could be a saving grace for Raheem Morris. But I agree with you, TJ. And I think most Falcon fans have been agreeing with that same statement that you said about not getting the full potential out of this team with Raheem Morris. I never wanted Raheem Morris. A lot of the Falcon faithful never wanted Raheem Morris. But at the same time, when he was hired, once you rocking the logo, it is what it is. you know, but all the guys just that Smitty did mention, all of those guys are having success. And right now we are 3-7 for whatever reason you want to put out there, because it's not just one. And that's another problem with the Atlanta Falcons, because it isn't just one thing. Just about everything that you have tried and everything that you've tried to do has not been successful. You can have all the good intentions you want, but the good action is not there.
Facts.
The results in a league where winning is essential. And that just goes with the coach, with the GM, just all across the board. It's nothing personal. It's just we're not getting the results.
Yeah, it's just these
100.
mom and pop type organizations sometimes, man. Like they have this this blind loyalty. And I can never get on board. We're dealing with this as Saints fans. I never get on board with people like, oh, you know, like firing guys year after year. It just shows dysfunction. No, what shows dysfunction is the product on the field, because nobody understands like what's really going on in these boardrooms or the conversations that you all are having in these smoke-filled rooms. But what they do understand is incompetence on the field, undisciplined football, not making second half adjustments, first 15 looking like trash, third down conversion. That's what fans understand. So look, I'm looking at the pulse of the Falcon fans in the chat, and it's like we want to see results at the end of the day. Like you can talk about Raheem Morris and, oh, you know, he changed around the defense and all that is great. Like from an executive perspective, they would probably be convinced because he was able to bring in Albrecht. But you have to look at it from a fan's perspective also, because they're the ones that sitting their ass in the seats that is spending their hard-earned money. So I'm not saying that the fans have to be like the ultimate decision makers here, but you also have to understand, and like I'm saying this respectfully, this is a franchise that has a lot of potential, a lot of young players. Like you see the talent. I talk about it all the time. But this is also an organization and a fan base that is desperate for prosperity, going to the playoffs, you know, winning the division. They want to see that. And if they don't feel like Raheem Morris is giving them that, then, you know, you can try to hoist them up as much as you want to and dangle the carrot of Jeff Albrecht. Like nobody is going to care at the end of the day, man. It's all about the result, you know.
Exactly.
You know?
And I got to give you your credit, TJ, because we talked about Mickey Loomis for God knows how long. Yeah. But if you look at the Saints and the Falcons, they have more in common than switching players all the time.
Yeah,
their front office is very inept. You talk about Mickey Loomis, the Falcons in the same position with Rich McKay. So until you cut that cancer out of the front office, it's gonna keep being the same thing. And this is why I keep saying this is why you got to learn to be uncomfortable. Go find somebody that's, you know, catching up with the times and, you know knows what really is going on. Look at what the Eagles did. I talked about the Eagles situation before. Who is their GM? Howie Roseman. Before he got there, that front office was just as dysfunctional, which is why they couldn't get over the top. Jeffrey Lewis hired Howie Roseman, backed out, said, "I'm gonna let you do your job." I think it was the very next season or the season after they win the Super Bowl. So you got to trust in what you're doing with your front office. And like you said with Mickey Loomis, he's there because of Tom Benson. It's not because they want him there. He's there because of, you know, the former owner.
There's only one way to get rid of him.
Yeah. So I mean, and Rich McKay, it's the same thing. It's what the owner wants. So if the owner is inept, it's going to spill all the way down through the front office, onto the field, through the head coaches, and through the staff. So I mean, until that changes, it's going to be the same exact thing, man.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think that, you know, I mean, when we talk about this rivalry, I mean, but when you know, it's one thing, but when it comes to the management, I mean, we have almost like similar, identical situations going on here. Like this
absolutely
blind loyalty to a fault, and what optics actually mean. Like, oh, what, you know, like I don't care about optics, man. Like fans don't care about optics. They don't. People, like if you've been around this thing, man, y'all some knowledgeable guys on here, man. Y'all know when organizations are doing the best that they possibly can to aggressively try to put a winning product on the field. Like you mentioned Howie Roseman. They didn't have to go out here and get Jalen Phillips from the Dolphins. They didn't need him. But they went out here because they wanted to shore up a good defense that they already had, to make sure that you have depth in place. That is guys that are dotting the I's and crossing the T's, right? It's not about just cleaning your carpet. It's about lifting up the sofa too and start vacuuming under that thing, right? Make sure that it's fully clean. So I don't know, man. Like, people just want results at the end of the day, man.
That's
facts,
it.
Facts.
That's it. And
Jordan, you got anything to add? You kind of quiet, my guy.
No. I mean,
he was over there thinking about how Howie Roseman changed the Eagles franchise.
No, because I mean, like, I love Howie so much. And I mean, here's the thing: a lot of people outside of the Eagles look at Howie and look at what he's done since 2017, 2016, since Chip Kelly left, because Chip Kelly was the de facto general manager. Even though Howie Roseman was technically the general manager during that time, Chip Kelly was the one running the place, and Howie just like sat in the corner and just watched Chip Kelly make all these moves. Trade away LaShawn McCoy, get rid of Deshaun Jackson, trade away Nick Foles. You ruined a part of my childhood, Chip Kelly. And I mean, I remember when Howie Roseman went out and got Namdi Asomugha. He took a risk and got Namdi Asomugha. I got a Namdi Asomugha jersey in my closet. I lost 40 pounds since June. I'm gonna say that, and I still fit in this Namdi Asomugha jersey. I put that on, and I was like, "Yes, it fits me," but this is depressing because it's Namdi Asomugha.
Every time I think about Namdi in the Eagles jersey, I just think about how Julio had him swimming. But that's
man.
But like, Howie has always gone after the moves, and there have been a lot of times where he screwed up. There have been a lot of times. Some people, I don't know whose idea it was to get Jalen Reagor. I don't know whose idea it was. I mean, I've always been a huge fan of Justin Jefferson since LSU, so I thought Justin Jefferson was going to be picked. I understand why they went Reagor, though, because they were trying to replicate the Chiefs' offense with Mahomes and Tyreek Hill with Carson Wentz and Jalen Reagor. That just doesn't work, though. So there have been hits and misses, but that's how Howie Roseman got 2 Super Bowls for the Eagles, and that's how he got to 3 Super Bowls. Is taking risks. You need to be able to take the risks, and like you guys are all saying, you got to be able to take those risks in organizations. And like for the Saints, going from Sean Payton to Dennis Allen, they weren't taking a risk. They were just they wanted to be comfortable. Going from Drew Brees to Jameis Winston, they were trying to be comfortable. And I think going after Kellen Moore was that was a risk they haven't done in a while. And since Sean Payton got hired, that's the last time that they ever had some sort of risk. And going out and drafting Tyler Shuck, part of me is like they drafted Tyler Shuck only because they were in a rebuilding year and we're going to go get a number 1 overall quarterback in this draft coming up. But just take risks, and because if you don't take risks, you're going to be in the same cycle over and over again of mediocrity. The same cycle that, as I always bring up my hatred towards the Cowboys in some shape or form, but the Cowboys with Jerry Jones have always been in that cycle since 1997. They have just been in this cycle of mediocrity. That's like we're America's team. We're gonna get this quarterback.
I agree with that, Jordan, but you got to look at what they've done the last 6 months. They go get George Pickens, which is a masterful trade.
Mm-hmm.
Then they pulled off, trade for Michael Parsons. They didn't want to pay him, so they get the 2 first-round picks. They use one of those first-round picks to go get another elite defensive tackle. Mm-hmm. So they have something to build around on that defensive line with Kenny Clark and Quentin Williams. So, all they got to do with those future first-round picks and second-round picks, they can build around the back of that defense because now they have the offense, down pat. Mm-hmm. They may have to, draft or sign some offensive linemen, but as far as defense, they can use those draft picks for defense and build a championship caliber defense just like that. So, I mean, we know Jerry Seedale and all that, But he's starting to listen to somebody behind the scenes because he couldn't have made that decision by himself. Let's keep it real.
Hey,
So
see what happens.
You know what they're gonna do though? They're gonna trade away CeeDee Lamb for something stupid. This is what they're gonna either trade Dak or they're gonna do something stupid. They always have these great moves, and then they follow it up with a why'd you do that move? Like trading away Micah.
Well, CeeDee Lamb, I would not be mad because I think George Pickens, to me, if he was such a troublemaker, he probably top 10 receiver in the league. Let's be real. Because you look at his numbers, he averages 15, 16 yards a catch for his career. So, I mean, he's a playmaker. He just can't keep his head on straight at time. And I even said, and I'm going to make a video about it, with Drake London. I'm going to throw it out there. So, y'all can get mad. I don't care. But, George Pickens, he's a number. And I'm telling you, in that draft, if he tear his ACL, he would be in Atlanta instead of Kyle Pitts. Mark my word. Mark my word.
Yeah, I just think that, when it comes to these executives, sometimes, I mean, fans just want to see that you're actually trending in the right direction. I mean, if you have so much negative equity built up with bad decision making, people don't care. Like they can only hold you accountable for the bad decisions you make, especially when those decisions are they trump the good decisions that you make. Like, for example, I mean, I mentioned that.
Way too bad.
I mentioned that the New Orleans Saints, made a trade with the Denver Broncos for Devon Vele for a 4 and a 7, right? I mean, the guy only has maybe 5 or 6 receptions. He got traded at the beginning of the season. But, everybody looks at that as a bad decision. But if you look at what the New Orleans Saints did last year, and they traded Marshawn Lattimore for a 3rd-round pick, that's a smart decision. Because, I mean, I like Laddie, but he is not the same for the Commanders, right? I mean, he's out for the season, but he's not the same guy. But people aren't paying attention to that because you have so many bad decisions that Loomis has made over the last couple of years that people are like, oh, man, whatever. I mean, a clock is right twice a day. That's the way they feel. So you got to be able to build that stuff up. And also, football is a parity, man. Football is designed every single year for every team to be on an equal playing field. And the way that Howie Roseman is out here aggressively making these decisions, this is how you beat this parity that the NFL has every single year. You can't rest on your laurels and be like, oh, man, we won a Super Bowl last year. Or we got to the Super Bowl, didn't win. All right, man, we close. No, man, you got to constantly build because you got to look at the teams are getting better. The players that you had out here that found success last year, guys got game tape on them. They're scheming for them. There's no well-kept secrets anymore. You got to be able to rise above this parity. And a lot of these teams, like ours, unfortunately, they don't. They're so busy, keen on loyalty. I like this guy. Let's make him a Saint for life. Let's make him a Falcon for the next 3 years. Oh, he came in, he shook my hand, gave me a firm handshake and good eye contact. I don't care.
I love this guy.
Right? I mean, look,
they fall in love with it. It be just that simple. And that's the crazy thing, really for both our franchises. But that having that familiarity and being comfortable is it's a cancer. And until it's cut out or until something gets shaken up, it's going to be like this. And that's the quite unfortunate thing, really, for both franchises.
Yeah, man.
Agreed.
And
go ahead, Joy. Go ahead, right quick.
The one thing I will say is, I would rather be in this situation with the Saints where I'm okay with, the future of any position changing. I'm okay with a different head coach next year. I'm okay with a different quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end, every single position on the team, every position in the front office. I'm okay with that. And I would, because that's opening the door for change. And with the Falcons, it's you have guys to rely on, but that also means you have to find ways to make sure that they are better and they're the cornerstones of your franchise. So if you get a new coach in there that isn't utilizing Bijan Robinson correctly, then you're going to have an issue with the run game. then you're going to have an issue. Like if you bring in a coach that's not great with Drake London, then all of a sudden you have an issue with Drake London. So there's, I guess more, the door's not completely open for every position on the Falcons to change, because obviously you have great talent and guys like Bijan Robinson, guys like Tyler Algier and Kyle Pitts and Michael Penix and Drake London. And that's kind of why I'm okay with the Saints, taking a year, because I'm open for whatever happens next year.
Yeah, but TJ will tell you it'll be more than a year. Mick Loomis still there.
Oh yeah.
Believe
it. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I would have to say I would rather have the Falcons situation, because they do have young guys that could potentially be cornerstone players. I mean, I think it all comes down to, Jordan, finding the right guy that could utilize the strengths of this offense. And I think that's easier. Like, because you got to think about it. Okay, it'll probably take years for a franchise in order for them to develop players, rather it's through the draft, rather it's free agency, depending on your cap situation. But when you actually have some guys that are capable, like Bijan, like Drake London, Tyler Algier, like you got pieces that you can actually build around. It's just a matter of coming up and finding a mastermind that can be able to put this collection of talent together in order for them to be formidable every single week. So I'd rather have the players in place. I mean, look, we know, if I can use a basketball analogy, we know Doug Collins was the coach of the Bulls, right? I mean, and they had a lot of talent, but it took Phil Jackson to come out there with the triangle to make the Chicago Bulls successful, right? So they had the talent. It was just a matter of the coach coming in, finding what is needed in order for the team to find success consistently. So I think the Falcons just need some new leadership and a guy that can steer them in the right direction, rather it's finding the right offensive coordinator or that offensive-minded coach, which many teams try to find to be able to get the best out of these players.
Super facts. But since you on the road, TJ, you're going to throw out your X facts.
Mm-hmm. X up.
Look, you talking about as far as the game?
Offense and defense.
Well, my offensive X factor, of course, it has to be Chris Olave. Chris Olave is now the number one guy. I mean, there are no other players that are close to his skill set at the wide receiver position. I think that when it comes to Chris Olave, I think this is one thing that he benefited from the Rashid Shaheed trade, is the fact that he is now the down the field threat again for the Saints. His rookie season, that's what he was. Like, you still had Michael Thomas, who the Saints were looking at as their number one guy, and Chris Olave was the down the field threat. Now he goes back to that. If you look at him at Ohio State, that was how his bread was buttered. They had Jackson Smith and Jigba. They had Garrett Wilson. He was the down the field guy. So I think that is something that he brings to the Saints game. And I think that he's a better contested catch guy than Rashid Shaheed is. Like, Rashid Shaheed catches the ball when he's behind a defense. I mean, he's going to hit his head on a goalpost. But if you have a guy running lock and step with him, just like it was with Emmanuel Forbes last week with Seattle, he was able to knock it away. Chris Olave is able to catch that contested ball. So he is the X factor to me on the offensive side of the ball. Defensively, I'm going to have to go with Chase Young. I know, Jordan, you have your reservations about him, but he has been playing better, than he has in the Saints uniform. It's not coming in a form of a sack, but, when you have a guy that can get pressure and get the quarterback off the spot, or a guy that can actually move a quarterback in order for another defensive player to get the quarterback on the ground, it's still beneficial. I think sometimes we pay a lot of attention to guys like Myles Garrett, guys like Michael Parsons that consistently get the quarterbacks on the ground, but we don't really pay attention to the guys sometimes that are the dirty work type players that are the reason why the sack took place in the first place. But I think that Chase Young has got to be that guy. I think that the Saints are maybe like a consistent pass rusher away, from being a formidable defense. But as of right now, Chase Young is the most athletic defensive guy on their front. So he's going to have to come and he's going to have to get Kirk Cousins off his spot. And rather it ends up with Brian Brzee in a sack, Cam Jordan getting a sack or somebody else, being able to get to the quarterback or even rushing Kirk Cousins. It has to be in his hands. So those are my 2 X factors.
Yeah, I get it, man. That's a great point. But let me get this super chat before you go, Jordan. Before you super chat. From Furball, man. He says, why don't we play Easter Stick? So why not develop him for next year and try to be a starter? Let's be honest. No one wants to watch Kurt, 60-year-old uncle man, play unwatchable football. I mean, a lot of us feel like that, man, but you got to look at it as maybe they still trying to win, because like I said earlier, man, they can't just go out there and stick it up on Sunday, because trust me, if they do, more and more players are going to be like, I got to get out of this mess, man. I got to. At the end of the day, that's what it is.
Go back and watch that Raiders versus Chargers game, and you tell me if you still would want Easter Stick to be.
I remember that game.
Oh my goodness, the worst interception I've ever seen in my life, man. He tried to throw a screen pass. I mean, threw it right in the guy's hand for a pick six. Y'all deserve better than that, bro.
My thing is, look at what he did this past preseason. He I mean, it may not have been that bad, but it still was bad. It was bad.
Man, I don't know, man. I mean, look, I like Easton Stick. He gonna be a career backup because he has some games where he look all right, but I don't think that's the direction you want to go.
Man, I made a jingle about that guy.
I'm about to say, we got the song.
Yeah. Pull up with a stick and throw a pick. You know what time it is.
Throw an Easter Stick. Throw a pick. We good.
Joy, go ahead, my guy.
Chris Olave was actually gonna be my X factor because of his downfield threat. So I'm gonna switch it up. I'm gonna say it's Juwan Johnson. He's just got to be able to hold on to the ball. Hold on to the ball. We're good. I mean, I've been a huge fan of Juwan since he was at Penn State when he was a wide receiver, and it's so weird now that he's a tight end. But I mean, again, getting those underneath dink and dunks, like I'm not going to put Alvin Kamara as the X factor because, in my opinion, if you're a coach focusing on the Saints offense, Alvin Kamara should be your number one X factor that you're focusing on because of his ability to do a lot of different things. I mean, you could also say Taysom Hill, but I'm going to say Juwan Johnson just because of those underneath passes that Shuck is going to have to make, especially down the middle of the field. Defensively, I'm gonna go Jonas Sanker. I love this dude. Dude, I love watching him. He has this energy to every time he makes a big play. I feel the energy of the defense change. And if I thought about saying Alontae Taylor, I could see like I said earlier, kind of like bringing him off the edge to get like some sort of strip sack, but I think the guy who's going to be a difference maker, I mean, you could bring him down to try and cover Kyle Pitts. Maybe he makes a big hit on Kyle Pitts. I don't know. Maybe he forces a fumble. But this guy, he's a difference maker. I'm very curious to see how he looks going forward. But I love watching this dude. I haven't felt this energy from the safety position in a very long time. It's very different than with Tyrann Mathieu. I mean, I would say probably haven't felt this way since Malcolm Jenkins.
Wow,
and
been a while.
I will say it's not really saying all that much. I mean, considering we had Marcus Williams for a little bit. He was good outside of one play. And I mean, Tyrann Mathieu, same thing. I like Tyrann Mathieu had a different energy just because like everybody loved him personally. He was a personal asset being from the Louisiana area, went to LSU and come into the Saints. Like it was very different. But this guy, he's new. He's something. He's a young difference maker that I haven't seen in a while in the secondary.
Yeah. That's cool, man. Another super chat right quick before you go, Chris. Appreciate early Christmas gift, man. Bobby Mean, appreciate you as always, my guy. He said, so who do you think is the next head coach of the Falcons if Raheem is let go? I actually answered this a little bit earlier. But it's got to be a big name, no more coordinator assistants. It honestly don't have to be a big name. They just have to come in and do their damn job. But if you want to throw out names, like I said, a 72, 36, and 1 record ain't bad. And if he's let go by the Packers, I gotta say Matt LaFleur, and I'm gonna stick with that.
I'm gonna say Cliff Kingsbury. I think Cliff Kingsbury would be a good coach for y'all, and also
I would not be mad at that either because of what he brings. He actually ran the type of offense Michael Penix ran at Washington.
Can I have Clint Kubiak instead?
Another good one.
I think Clint Kubiak as well.
Like Clint.
Yeah, Joe Brady will be another. I'm just looking at it from a
offensive guy.
I'm looking at it like what he does with James Cook. I can see him like and also like the change of pace backs as well. Yeah, I can see him like also being able to find opportunities for not only Bijan but Tyler Algier as well. And and also, man, like I feel like he has a really good offensive game plan when it comes to athletic wide receivers too. I think that he really has helped Khalil Shakir, man. I mean, like coming to his own as a top slot guy in the league. So
that's dope. But before you go, Chris, I got to give a shout out to Kimmerthump. He says y'all doing podcast with Saints podcasting, man. This is great, man. Hey, Jordan, TJ, I mean, we do shows with them all the time, man. We know they're a big Saints fan and probably do a show in a couple of weeks when they roll around again, because I've been working with these guys for a while. But man, thank you for that comment. And thank y'all Saints fans for coming through, chilling with the sports machine and A1 Forever. State of the Saints podcast and all Legacy, man. We truly appreciate it. But Chris, what are your X factors right quick?
Well, I'm gonna start with the defensive end, and we talk about Jeff Ulbrich all the time, and as we should, but a guy that kind of gets lost in the sauce, and I continue to call him like the biggest free agent signing for us, is Nate Ollie. So Nate Ollie is my X factor. He's been having these guys getting after it. That defensive line has been getting after it. 18 sacks in the last 3 games, of course, second in sacks right now. So I expect him. Are you going after yet another young quarterback? Get after him, rattle his cage, and so cause him to make mistakes, because you got some playmakers, you got some ball hawks, you got some guys, some young guys who can get after it. You with the strip sacks, etc. So Nate Ollie, I want you to have these defensive linemen ready to get after it, still hunting, even though I know we don't have much of playoff aspirations to hunt for right now, but still just some pride, because it is rivalry week. And I believe that at the end of the day, you have to still evaluate the rest of the season on who's still showing up, and are they showing up to play or showing up just to get paid. So I think, that's going to be very important moving for the rest of the season on who's going to be here next year. So, yes, Nate Ollie, have these guys on point. As far as on the offensive side, I mean, how can it not be Kirk Cousins? Kirk Cousins for me is the X factor, because if he can move the ball anything like it was last year before the Saints game that he got injured in last year or whatever, so that I feel like it can be a good thing. And it's so funny because I believe if I'm not mistaken, around about this time last year was that game to where the Falcons were 6-3, and they faced off against those Saints. And then everything has been tumbling really since that game. Everything has been tumbling for the Falcons. So I'm ready to give you guys your voodoo back, and you guys can have it. And so that since we're going to be playing up against you guys again, it's time to try to see if Kirk Cousins can help lead this offense. You got to rely on the run game, but eventually you're going to have to pass. So Kirk Cousins, don't turn the ball over, because you don't need people, saying, well, first of all, we're going to be in enemy territory anyway. They don't have much to cheer about. Don't give them anything else to cheer about, okay? It's just, just be cool. So, yeah, man, Kirk Cousins and Nick Ollie, my 2 X factors.
Yeah, and those are 2 great ones. But I with X factors, man, the way they looked last week, letting Bryce Young throw 448 yards outside his car seat, that was just sickening. But when you look at, this game, as I said earlier, it got to be the front seven. You got to get pressure on the young quarterback and force him to make mistakes. 34 sacks this season, 18 in the last 3 games. Just keep sticking to your bread and butter. And speaking of bread and butter, other side of the football, keep running the ball. Use Algier and Robinson. Just weigh them down. That's all you got to do. And like TJ said, it's going to be a low-scoring game. The game is always won in the trenches. So you got to come out this game, get pressure on the quarterback, and run Bijan Tyler down their throat. I think that's the key to victory to, the entire game for the Atlanta Falcons. So, like I said, we're not going to hold it, but everybody's favorite part of the show, score predictions.
Yes, sir.
Y'all going to throw them score predictions out in the chat. TJ and Jordan, y'all give us y'all score prediction for this game.
I think that the New Orleans Saints are going to win this football game, but I think it's going to be close. I think it's going to be 17-13. I think that both defenses, because of it being a rivalry game, being a divisional matchup, everybody knows where the bodies are buried. I don't go by records and stuff like that. I mean, you can't, right? I mean, that's just all what it comes down to. I think it's going to come down to third down conversions. I think that it's going to come down to taking advantage of opportunities, rather it's taking advantage of short field goal opportunities. Like, you're going to have to capitalize on that. And I just think that I think that it's just going to come down to a defensive struggle. But I got the Saints winning this game 17-13.
I like that.
Okay.
Jordan, go ahead.
I think both these offenses might struggle. I think both these defenses might struggle. I think this is going to be a punt fest. I wanted to say like something stupid like 7-6, but I'm gonna go 23-16. I think the Saints win. I think we might see a lot of drives stall for the Saints that lead to a lot of field goals. That's why the 23. And I think Atlanta will try to start with the run game, but then again, I think they're going to, like Chris, like you said, be forced to pass the ball. And so I'm going to go 23-16 Saints.
Wow. Chris, go ahead.
I don't know what you people talking about 30. What the Saints gonna get 35 points?
I don't see nobody.
I can't remember last time the Saints scored 25 points. God, dog. Right. Yo.
Hey, B Lane might be the closest. I could see this.
3-3 tie. There it is. It is. Sheesh. Okay, Kirk Cousins. Let me see. No Drake London. Drake, you can have my knee if you need it, by the way. I just but no. But let me see. No Drake London. Kirk Cousins. Saints defense. Falcons offense. All right. I guess I'm gonna go ahead with a good old fashioned. I'm gonna go 19-17 Falcons. I think Zane Gonzalez is going to have to be our savior.
Good luck with that. We ain't had luck with kickers all year, so
man.
I mean, Zane been okay for what it's worth so far, but I mean, this is a hate week. It'll be just our luck. Never mind. Let's just.
Hey, TJ, blue kid swag. So you got to be a little bit more extra than that.
You're extremely extra. You extra.
I'm
talking
about
35.
He piling it on, man. He piling it on.
35, man.
But I said this game got to be won in the trenches. I mean that, man.
Mm-hmm.
Either it's gonna be Taysom Hill, and Alvin Kamara, or Bijan Robinson, Tyler Algier. Whoever has the most rushing yards this game will win this game. Because we all know by the third and fourth quarter, both of these defenses on both of these teams, they be wore out like a hard light in the middle of Bethel. So when you look at it, run. Yeah, I agree. Low scoring game. Absolutely. I'm going 16-13 Falcons. And don't make me out to be a fool. So yeah, 16-13 Falcons. Whoever wins the run game better, that's who wins the game.
Man, I'm gonna tell y'all, I'm more concerned about Kirk Cousins as the quarterback than I would at Michael Penix. Like, I'm just saying, man, this defense that the Saints run, I just think that a veteran quarterback who has seen everything under the sun, they're going to be able to execute.
Yeah.
And and we know, like, sometimes those veteran quarterbacks, they can be limited. We had at the wide receiver position, at some of the skill positions,
but they're gonna know how to use them.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know, man. Like, I don't think he just that washed. And then also I have to look at the experience of the Saints.
Think about this, TJ. Think about this. Remember what y'all did to him last year when he came to New Orleans? That's in the back of his mind somewhere.
Yeah, man.
Trust me. I mean, but you know, that was still a Dennis Allen type defense that they was running the last time. Even though he was fired, you still had Joe Woods, who was a part of his coaching staff that was still running that same type of defense. I mean, so I'm just concerned that, like, this zone defense and Kirk Cousins being able to pick this thing apart and be able to convert on some of those crucial third downs. So I think that's going to be an advantage for you all's offense in a passing game.
Rico, I didn't think about that. He said they're going to put up 20 points twice this year. Jesus Christ.
That's why I'm going 19-17 Falcons. Right there.
Yeah, 16-13 is my score. I won't even give him a touchdown to get to 20. But if y'all would like to give out shout outs, y'all go ahead.
Man, look, I don't have any shout outs, man. I'm just glad to be here with you all, man. Like, real talk. Like, y'all can find me, where y'all can find me, man. I'm here for my guy, my boy Smitty. Shouts out to you, Chris, man. Thank you for having me here, man. I really do appreciate it, man. I'm just here, to support my guy, and I'm happy to be here to talk football with all of you, you two as well, man, Jordan. So appreciate it. Thank y'all for having me.
No doubt. Jordan, go ahead and give you a shout out, man, if you got one. Like I said, man, I always appreciate both of y'all, man.
Yeah, no, I thank you guys. I'm shouting all you guys out. Thank you, Chris. I mean, I've known you for 8 years now. I mean, we've been talking Saints and Falcons for that long. Smitty, it's always been great talking to you and being on streams with you, man. TJ, thank you. I finally a Saints fan in a stream. I love it. This probably made my month, just having a Saints fan on these streams. I was getting tired of just every week having like 6 Falcons fans come at me, and I'm just sitting there, and I'm like, I mean, I remember at the beginning of the year, I'm like, I could see the Falcons going 8-9, 9-8, and then everybody else was like, oh no, we're going 14-3, we're going undefeated, we're winning the Super Bowl. And I'm just like, oh God. I need a Saints fan. So it was nice meeting you, TJ. This was awesome. I feel like I haven't talked Saints with a Saints fan in a very long time. But thank you guys all for having me.
Sure. Hey man, first of all, shout out to the guys that came on the panel. TJ, like I said, I've seen some of your work. Very knowledgeable dude. Salute to you. Jordan, again, like you just said, man, we got history all the way back to the old gridiron days, huh? So, man, so salute to you, and thank you for coming on, man, guys. Thank you to everybody who showed up from Jordan's channel, from TJ's channel. No matter what team you're repping, at the end of the day, salute to you. Thank you for helping making this stream as successful as it has been. Falcons versus Saints rivalry week. Yes, on Sunday. We're gonna be, turning our nose up at one another, but I'm glad that we was all able to come together and just talk some football and what we think, and be able to be respectful about one another and everything like that too. So salute to everybody, man. Y'all make sure y'all find y'all peace today, because it is almost 9:40. It is 9:40 at night, and positive energy always creates elevation, and that's what we gotta get our peace from, man.
Absolute facts, man. Absolute facts. And man, I love visiting New Orleans, man. I go to New Orleans. I've been about 5 or 6 times, man, and I always have a ball, man. Love eating at the Cajun Seafood Shack, right there on what is that?
Claiborne.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I love that place.
I go see my family.
Yeah. Boy, that is the spot. That's the spot. Boy, look, again, man. everybody in the chat, man. I truly appreciate y'all, man. And much love to y'all also, man, for coming over from the NFC South. Thank y'all for supporting me over there as well. Saints fans, y'all gave me a hard time, but I enjoyed it. And I made friends over there, man. TJ, me and him, we stay in touch. We talk all the time. So, shout out, to TJ, man, for coming through, supporting this boy, man. Truly appreciate it.
Yeah.
Jordan, again, man, you've been working with us for a while. I appreciate you as well. But y'all know where to catch me, man. Smitty Sports Machine on YouTube. Drop my thoughts on the Michael Penix injury, so y'all go check that out. Also catch me on Fatboy Slim on Twitter /X. I'm always over there blowing it up, man, because that's what I do. I mean, I give anybody hell on Twitter. I gave the Falcons hell all last week. I don't take picks. I tell the truth and I tell it like it is, man. So look, I mean, you just gotta be different. And that I feel like that's what we all share. We just all different.
Yep.
And we always give different opinions, different views, and that's who make us who we are. But again, man, I appreciate the chat for coming through, and thank y'all for the early Christmas gifts. Like I said, man, because look, Christmas right around the corner, and because of y'all, I probably have a nice Christmas, man, and I appreciate that. But for Chris, my boy TJ, my boy Jordan, we're gonna roll on out and give y'all Wednesday night back. Next week we'll be back on Tuesdays. On Tuesday at 8:00, Jets Falcons preview. Atlanta Falcons, New York Jets legend John Abraham gonna stop through, talk to us with the preview show, and we're gonna have a good time with John as always. Because one thing about John, he bring it, boy, and y'all just gotta be ready for it. But until next Tuesday at 8, we're gonna holler at y'all later, man. Peace.